jump on, get your little notices, hopefully pinging you at different places. How is everybody? Happy Saturday. The sun is out here. Hopefully it is out where you are. Let me just pull up the comments here, make sure I can see in the chat. Oh, it's so nice. I'm not gonna lie. I came in, started setting things up for this live event, and it's so nice that the sun's out. Often we do these in the evening after work hours, and it's nice. And then usually Saturdays are packed. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like having this in the morning. You guys will have to tell me how it works for you guys on Saturday mornings, but there's this like quiet in the house still because the kids are kind of happy that I'm not like chores. Now don't get me wrong, we will be doing chores later, but so far it's kind of a nice way to start my Saturday morning. I'm liking it. I didn't have to put up any lights because the light is already up and from the outdoors. And anyways, yeah, so nice. All right, hopefully you have gathered a few things that maybe you want to create with the mini Riley border. How many of you have gotten it? Hopefully, I'm assuming a vast majority of you have had the opportunity to get that. And we're just gonna create with it tonight. Whether you're doing one of the sketches here on the back that are included on the back of the insert here of Mini Riley Drive, and or, if you're gonna do this sketch. This was the bonus sketch. It was supposed to go out with the reminder thing here. I'll hold it up in case you guys want to take a screenshot of it. I know, Pam, you had mentioned it, and then I went and checked, and it didn't get attached to the little hour before the event reminder, which I don't know. I thought it was all attached, but something happened. But either way, here it is. And I'll make sure to also share it. But I did put an image in the event commons. But that's loaded. So take a screenshot. I will also have it up because this is kind of the sketch that I'm going to be going off of today. But before you're frozen, am I frozen? Those kind of things. Carol says I'm frozen. Am I frozen, guys? Let me know. Hopefully internet behaves on this Saturday morning. Somebody else let me know. Okay, I'm gonna assume that I'm still there. It's hard to know if it's my internet or your internet. Okay, good. Because whenever I see comments like that, I think, oh, is it mine? But it takes both of our internets to make this happen. So yes, hey, so really quickly, I wanted to point some things out of this sketch. You'll notice it's very basic. There is no theme to this sketch, which it leaves it open-ended, right? This means that it can be a travel page. It could be a day at the beach. It could be family time. It could be pictures of soccer or activities like that, sports kind of things. It really can, because again, it's all about the paper that you use from your paper stash. Now, with that said, you definitely want to add a little bit of personality, and the way you do that often with layouts is just adding a little bit of embellishments, and there's lots of places to kind of add that. And again, we're going to go through that, but just like right off the bat, I look at this and I think, well, if you wanted to replace this 4x4 here with maybe a cute little title card and then a cute little embellishments, you could, right? Just hypothetically. Over here, I also see a little opportunity for something right here or right here, right here. Those are good little clusters. But what you're noticing here is that the framework of this page is already set up. And this is true for all sketches. But I just really, and I know that a lot of you guys know this, but it's always great when you're looking at a new sketch to just take, a minute or two and kind of pull it apart, dissect it. And so what I did here is we just left out maybe those extra embellishments or things that we might get distracted by, and literally left it down to the frame of the photos and the backdrops. And the backdrops are often created with the borders. In this case, we're going to be using minis, okay, on a 12x12. And also literally what we determine as backdrop, which is like rings or the placemats, they create a backdrop for you to embellish on top of. And in the scrapbooking world, we embellish with our photos and literally embellishments like accessories. But you do embellish your page with photos. It's the photos and the accessories. So of course we have the placement of photos here, and then we're just going to accessorize, and however you choose to do that. The other thing we're going to be focusing on today in this event that I'll probably highlight is I'm actually not using a typical paper kit, which is usually often here at Kiwi. We have expressed this many times. It's kind of our formula of how we choose paper and what we refer to as paper kits. We use the same formula in the Kiwi Club kits that we create, except for our Kiwi Club kits are basically a paper kit times 3 because they can make 3 2-page layouts at least. But that formula is often 5 sheets, right? 2 for your background, 1 for your main pattern, 1 for a supporting pattern, and then 1 optional for matting pictures and so forth. The reason why I mention that is because over, the decade or so that I have been using this formula, I have created literally, I need to really fully count, but safely over 1,000 pages out of my paper stash. And using this exact formula. But then what I also get left with is what I refer to, and I went over this, if you guys are when you guys are in the community, underneath the organizing section, there's called, oh gosh, what's it called? The article is called Tips for Managing Your Paper Stash. It's an event we did years back. But I talked about kind of like the transition of how paper has, I have worked with paper, and I then found, these paper kits, these collections, these paper pads. That was kind of a phase, right? They actually drained a lot of my time and energy when I was trying to go use them, which is where I was like, spend the time before you sit down to scrapbook to actually put some paper kits together, right? Because then you don't feel when you actually sit down to scrapbook, you get drained. I think that's an appropriate way to explain that. And but then what happens after that is, because it's surprising, even with those 5 sheets, it's nice to have the 5 sheets so that you have first variety, especially if you're using double-sided paper. I highly recommend double-sided paper. But then what happens is still, you could create a beautiful 2-page layout, layered if you love the layers, and you have the space and the freedom to do that with that selection of kit. You get called what I call a leftover kit. It's a leftover. I don't know how else to explain that. A leftover kit where it's like, okay, I have this left, right? And this is an old kit that I had, years ago. It's Simple Stories. And I know Simple Stories formula is a little different because the way that they design their paper is more towards like, well, I don't want to say, but it's pretty like pocket type things or something. So this is really hard sometimes because they have a beautiful full pattern here, and then they have these blocks on the other side. So you just get a little bit more creative with them, right? But you could see I ended up slicing into this paper just a little bit. Now, I probably should have found my 2-page layout. I probably will find it. I've, done a few, but now I'm left with this leftover. Why am I pointing this out? Well, because one of the beautiful things, and I guess it doesn't just apply to minis, but it is one of the things that I wanted to highlight about a mini border, and this sketch especially, is that you really can use leftover papers, aka scraps. And that's what I'm going to showcase in my personal thing that I'm going to be creating today. And so you can see here we have some rings, and we're going to be tucking and doing maybe some things like that, unless you choose to replace where the rings are in this sketch with something else. Maybe you want to pull in whimsy or something like that to be more of a structure behind that if you want to follow this sketch, because I just looked over at Whimsy, so that's why I thought it could totally work. Because look how cute that would be. Whimsy tucked down in the corner instead. All right. All right. Let's dive into it. I'm going to flip my view here on this camera. I'm going to use my leftover papers. I'm going to be using the mini Riley drive. I'm going to be scrapbooking some pictures of my Riley. I thought it was only fitting if we're going to be scrapbooking with Riley. Boulevard, I keep saying Drive, Boulevard Lane. But yes, it is Drive, but mini Riley Drive. I thought that was fitting. And I thought it was so heartwarming. I was reading of a post here on Facebook how she was saying that her grandma's name was Riley too, and so that made me so sweet. So hopefully, if you know a Riley that is dear to your heart, that you're thinking of that person also when you're scrapbooking with this mini border. So okay, you guys ready? I'm gonna take you for a ride. We're gonna go change our view here, and hopefully that gave you guys a chance to situate. Maybe you already were ahead of the game and organized, which is great, to pull out a few items. Really, you don't need much. You need, let me see if that's crooked. That feels crooked. Paper, a few pictures, and again, there's that picture of the sketch, that bonus sketch, or there are multiple versions on the back. And or if you also purchase the lovely quick download digital idea book that correlates with this mini Riley border, then that awesome works. But I mentioned a sketch. You could play, and I've done that plenty of times actually, and you guys have seen that. But again, that sketch is really just so friendly to work with that springboard. And so I think that's really great. All right, let me pull up, don't allow, join as participant. I'm gonna pull up you guys on my computer so I can see you from there now that my view is down. If you guys have any questions, you guys let me know, okay? All right. Yes, Lord. Riley is Lacey is more of like a mini me. But we do have this actual picture. I have this one where it's me and her. She does say she really loves her nose, and she's grateful that I gave her nose. Makes me laugh every time she says it. So, and her eyebrows. She's like, I like my eyebrows too. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad. Oh, girls. But I have these pictures. I meant to take off all my little white things. There's something satisfied about pulling those off. But, she, every once in a while, I mean, my kids are pretty good about taking pictures. They cooperate for them. But, Riley is sometimes just in the general age. I think she's 17 in these pictures. Like, no, I don't want to. But this time she was. So I'm embracing, I'm loving it, and I'll take whatever I can get, right? Isn't that how we feel sometimes? So that's really, really nice to do that. To have so many of these random snapshots of her because she was just, willing to take a picture. Usually it's like, okay, 1, 2, I'm done. But sometimes I get a little bit of a snapshot portrait, just studio session. All right, so Lori, I had posted the sketch in the comments. You know what? Let me see if I can attach it. I can attach it here in the comments. There we go. Hopefully you see that. That will help everyone. All right, let's dive into this. You guys ready? I'm ready. It's been a long work week. I'm sure for a lot of you guys as well. And so, like I said, I can get used to this Saturday morning. This is, I got the laundry started, which is like a win, right? And like I said, we'll still have to do in our house, we call it chore hour, where everyone's just all on deck for 1 hour. and we just knock as many chores. And the rule is, nobody really has chores on Saturdays, no assignments. We just set the timer for 1 hour. And until I stop, nobody else is allowed to stop. So they have to come back and be like, what's next, Mom? And then I'll point out the next thing or the next corner that like never got cleaned because it just piled up during the week or something like that. So they're very much aware that we still have to do our chore hour, but our Saturday chore hour. But I'm going to enjoy this time with you guys because I'm loving the light shining through in this room and everything. Okay, so here's the thing. With the leftover kits, this is often what I end up doing. I shove it back into my bag, right? This is a pretty good hefty leftover kit. Oftentimes I'm left like maybe just a little, but I think it's because a lot of the sheets that were double-sided were kind of limiting as far as the pattern itself. Now, granted, hopefully I can maybe utilize some of these in this design today as my little extra embellishments. So that will be nice. And it'll be nice to do some sticker sneezing, maybe. We'll see. We'll see, because those always come in those kits too. Gosh, I don't even know. How old is this kit? 2019. Not too bad. Not too bad. But I loved that just kind of, I did a quick scan, like I said, and I picked this paper, this leftover paper kit, I guess you could say. It's just because, you know, it was out in this little garden type deal, and this kit's definitely has the garden theme about it. And the greens in the picture are a little bit brighter, but I think it will be all copacetic. It'll be great. All right, if anyone else says I'm a little blurry, I just never know if it's my internet, your internet. You're gonna have to let me know. I took off all my internet to make sure that it was good for to live, because I feel like the last few have been hit and miss. Okay, let me move this up too. It's sliding. Okay. If I see like a pattern, like you guys keep saying, like multiple. Oh, okay, so Ralston said it's blurry too. Let's see, why? No blurry. Let me see. Blurry in and out, blurry in and out. Well, let's see if I can change my settings before we really dive in and see if that helps. Which is always nerve-wracking to do. Did that help? I shifted it back to my other internet. Hopefully give it a moment. Hopefully that shifted it back. You guys tell me here in a moment. Linda says it's clear here for me. If I move too fast. Hopefully then it settles. Is it settling? You guys tell me. Okay. So leftover kits. Do you guys have leftover kits? Let me know. So what I was saying was that, yeah, I end up just shoving it all back into the bag that I have it in. And then I have this space that is called, like, for my leftover. It's like my leftover bucket, which I don't reach for often. But usually what happens with my leftover kits is then I still have to find 2 background sheets that can go with it. Because I don't often, when I get done with a kit, have that, right? Because otherwise it would be basically a kit at that point if you have a few sheets and 2 backgrounds. So when I get done with a page and I use that paper kit that I, you know, put together and created with, and then I have all these random scraps that I cut into, this is all I end up putting into a bag. I don't necessarily find background sheets again to transform it into another paper kit. I just put my leftover kit there. But then this morning I saw this and I thought, you know what, let's use a leftover kit. Of course, I think we'll have plenty here in my scraps with some backgrounds, right? So then I had to find some backgrounds, and I got really lucky. I found these colors That is not part of this collection, nothing like that. I just was able to match it pretty close. This is also where maybe you do that more traditional, well, I don't know if you call it traditional. It's kind of, you know, the white backgrounds, right? We see it all the time in scrapbooking. It's pretty popular. That's an easy solution to using your leftover kits too, is depending on your preference and style, you could throw in some white sheets. I do that often if it works. In this case, I thought the little bit of warmth and texture of this green, and I happened to see it, and I was like, that matches. And I did test my pictures on top of it, and it seemed to work as well. This other site, this is actually from the kit, I thought could work too. And it does have, you know, Riley's favorite color is black. Yes, it is black. But I just feel like you could see it just kind of the calmness that I just love that is captured in those pictures. Slightly just didn't quite capture that. And so I thought, you know, let's try it this way. But, you know, we're talking creativity here, and creativity, you just kind of go along with the process once you get started. So, all right, it keeps moving. So I think everyone's saying it's good now, but yes, the movement. So hopefully it settles, and hopefully, you know what, let me just push this. The thing doesn't want to cooperate, so I'll push it upwards. Okay. Let's go a little higher. I'm sorry, I'm moving again, and then hopefully it settles and we don't have the blurriness again. Okay. Just a little bit higher to get the full frame in. And I better plug this phone in. Definitely, the lights really eat through the battery. So let me just put our safety charger in just in case. Oh, all right. All right. If only we could all be together, then we wouldn't need technology. But at the same time, I'm very grateful for technology so that we have this chance to be together at the same time. Okay, let's dive in. You guys dive in, I'll dive in. We will get started here. So this sketch that I'm going to be utilizing, the other thing, of course, is always pictures and how many. We, of course, love to showcase a lot of pictures here at Kiwi Lane, the possibility, but also with that, the flexibility. You can have 4 pictures, you can have 5 pictures, you can have 1 picture, 2 pictures, 8 pictures, 12 pictures. I will say this little bonus sketch here for this event is quite great. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 showcased on this. And then, of course, we want to have that beautiful page, but creative, fulfilling, but also really showcases our pictures, because, you know, that really encompasses what scrapbooking should be for all of us. It should be fun and beautiful and creative, fulfilling, and yet really emphasizes our memories in that creative expression as well. So I feel like at the same time, kind of like what I was saying here, it's easy to say, well, if you don't happen to have that many, you can adjust that design a little bit as well by maybe using a title card or something. And with the simple stories patterns that I'm using, I might just do that so that I could also take advantage of those simple story cards as well. All right. Lori says, I try to use leftovers. I just donated paper to granddaughter's Girl Scouts group. That's a really good idea, Lori. I love that. I have, again, a lot of time my leftover drawers, well, it goes from paper kit to leftovers to scraps for cards. And usually that scraps of cards section, I have a little bucket for it too. I go through that article, kind of how I've grown over the years in my paper philosophy, I guess. But yeah, my kids and everything knows that they can use those, but I think it's great to donate them. I think all of us know a Girl Scout. I do. It's Cookie Girl Scout season right now, and I'm definitely, hey, cookies. I'm looking at some over by my computer right now. It's kind of bad though at the same time. the mint ones. I don't know which ones you guys' favorites, but those mint ones. Ooh, before I know it, I ate like a whole package. Okay, so let me lay out, because I always feel more, you know, like I have a game plan when I actually start to lay things out. So mini border, Riley, it's so cute. It definitely has this like more wacky, I want to say wacky, but it's an interesting design simply because it has this vibe that could be wacky. And imagine when I want that vibe, I would put it into, you know, some oranges and reds and yellows or whatever, that type of aesthetic. But in this case, I kind of wanted to have a soft feel, and these colors, these pinks and greens and soft yellows in this line, I think will give us just that vibe. So that will be really, really handy. And then of course, if you at any point want to change the design up, you could do so. I will say on this sketch, just like in the previous lives we talked about, I do think that's really fun how it's partnering up here, you know, snuggled right in this edge of this 3x3. So that's really, really great way to utilize these mini borders, is to kind of, in a case, bookend it, but you're leveling it with that 3x3 in that case too. All right. Something so satisfying about seeing and visualizing it and just getting out of the head for a moment. So let tactile play work for you. It works scientifically. Our brains are, designed that way. Tactile is good. So just start placing some elements on the page. If you're laying things out, again, I've only used Mini Riley Drive so far. I am pulling in some photos. If you, just to kind of give me that accomplishment, to feel like I'm progressing, which is always the other benefit, I'll be honest. And then I gotta find my other 3x3s here. The mix and the madness of my photos. Every time I think I should keep my photos sorted, but then when I clean them up, I just shove them all right back into the photo section. So where did I put those 3x3s? Okay, well, I have some 3.5s. Maybe I'll use that for now until I come across them. Like I said, I just throw them all back into like a pile, and I really should keep my minis separate than my other ones. It would save me some time from sorting them every single time. You know, you live and you learn. You live and you learn here. And then the bottom is the 4x4s in this case. Now, granted, we know that a page is, 12 inches, a traditional page here. So if you want to keep your pictures 4x6s, you can. That's if they're horizontal. In my case, I only have one horizontal. So I probably will try to keep that intact there. These other ones, they're vertical. And so I think for me, that's really gonna be, I think it's actually, the vertical is gonna really be nice in the 4x4. Yes, I'm trimming them up a little bit, but I still think the essence of these specific pictures will absolutely be captured in the design. So, so that actually works really great. I think from experience point, I knew that when I looked at the pictures, but it's always nice to test it, right? So yeah, Gwendolyn, thank you for bringing out a new one. Crossed unvault, hint, hint. I know, you're still wanting the unvaulting. I get it. We just thought, you know what? A new one's also exciting, and let's put some resources behind that new one. But we haven't forgotten, Gwen. I promise. I promise. I promise. We might have to do like a pre-order to really see who's all interested before we do that. Would you guys be up for that? Maybe that's what we do. We do a pre-order to really see, because it seems like it's hit and miss, but we have to order a minimum. And I think I've told you guys this before. So that's something we always have to weigh out, just the resources to put towards that. and then of course adding them to the warehouse and other components. All right, so you know what? I'm going to go ahead because the photos are such a main element on this page, and because the way we're kind of deconstructing this layout today in a different kind of manner, and hopefully you have some little bit of new takeaways on how you can, maybe certain things work for you that, you know, that better approach. But often I'll lay out my design, and you guys have seen me do that, and then go into my photos and just different things. But I think for me today, and you guys, and it's not really, I wouldn't want to say rules or anything, because I just scrapbook. I just do it. I do love visual and tactile. I think it's super important. And so I highly encourage you to start placing, and then you can start exploring other various ways to take next steps. So I guess what I'm trying to get to is, I think for me, I am going to go ahead and trim down my pictures. I've already decided that they will work for this 4x4, and I kind of want to see the actual pictures in the mix of this design when I'm picking papers, because I'm using my leftover papers and other things. So I think for me, that is kind of something that my brain is getting stuck on. So I just need to satisfy it and trim down some pictures. Trim down some pictures. Now, one thing I do need to decide is on these smaller sizes, which ones of these, because I do know that they'll work for the 4x4s, but I need to see which ones I want for the 3x3s at the top. I think of that one. Let's hold on. And this really, I think, highlights again some of these decisions that we're faced with. Is like how to crop down your pictures, like what sizes to crop down. And so again, often what we can do is we can get stuck into the way that maybe we were conditioned when we first started scrapbooking, and that was to just kind of do the guesswork. But really, I mean, learning the habit to pull on the photo templates, not just as a designing tool, but as that cropping tool, can help take a little bit of the uncertainty and give you that visual guarantee that is always great. It's always great. So even this picture I was debating, but I think I can absolutely trim that down. So what I do here, and it just depends on the darkness, is it's nothing fancy. I just simply make a mark here and here. That gives me a general parameter to cut that in, and I absolutely use my paper trimmer in this case. I think for me on my paper trimmer, total random, I'm pulling in a white pen because I noticed that it's kind of a little hard for me to see. And so that's the other thing I do. I sometimes use a white pen, and I just make a little mark. Anyways, I do have this hefty paper trimmer. I've been thinking about buying a new one, guys. I've had this one for so long. I will be honest, the blade is still sticking in there though. So for whatever it's worth, this Caterpillar, it takes up a lot of space, but compared to previous years and my blades, this blade I don't think I've ever replaced the blade, to be fully honest. I have never replaced this blade. And I've had it, oh gosh, I don't know when I got it. I've had it for at least 6 years. I think I'm pretty average on my scrapbooking. Maybe even, I mean, I always finish 6 pages in a given month just because that's my goal. I get maybe, you know, the PJ play date and a few other evenings. And then today is Saturday. I love it. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. But I did see the new Tim Holtz one, and it's kind of tempting me. I wonder what the bulkiness though, because I think the bulkiness is what gets to me more than anything. But you know what? At the same time, the blade thing is a winner, and I can, from personal experience, say that it's really great. I just always feel like it takes over my table, which I guess if you really think about it, it's not end of the world. But yeah. Oh yeah, Linda says, I love the new Tim Holtz. It's like the Caterpillar self-sharpens. There you go. It's kind of one of those things that's so tempting because it's new and novice, and then I look at this and I'm like, this is still doing its job, but sometimes I could be friendlier to my trimmer, meaning I throw it around a lot. And maybe if I tightened everything up again, it would actually be pretty great and new. All right. Thinking about the cutter, which actually kind of coordinates this green matches in my paper. It's pretty great. Okay, so I have my 3 4x4s on this side. And then I have, so for me, I only have 3. Let's see, how many pictures did I print off? 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to clearly need to fill in some of my other photo places if I want to fill those places with other embellishments, which is going to be so much fun. I'm excited. I think that's what's also fun about a sketch. It does help you give a little bit of a direction where you're going, which can get you a little too excited before you're actually to that step. Or maybe that's just me. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to decide. I think that is one I'm going to do a 3x3 on. This one I need to be a 4x4 because I think her pose here is a little fun and silly, and her. So again, I only need a starting point. I'm not sure if I talked about this. I really only need a starting point, which is why I just do a little bit of a line. Because the truth is, you do have your measurings here. Once I trim the one side, I can just go to 4 inches and trim the next size. If it's easy like this, where I'm trimming a 4x6 down to a 4x4, because one width already measures the 4 inches. But so that is often my approach to that, is I'm just seeing, do I like want the body here, the top? In this case, I do think that helped me make that decision. I'm going to pull it down and get just a little bit more of her. I feel like I captured a lot of the backdrop and things in the other pictures. So I don't need to be so focused on making sure that that's all captured. I mean, she was in her element. She loved this. Who wouldn't? This little art here, and you know, green. Oh, I guess green, black and green. She, of course, painted her bedroom green at one point. So this is just like totally an element that she was like, I love it. So, and there's squashes hanging off the ceilings, just awkward shapes, and that kind of fits her artsy soul too. So it was fun just to see her embrace it. And then of course she was happy, so she's willing to smile for my camera. So, and I was glad I caught that, because then now it makes me happy and I get to enjoy it all over again while I scrapbook it. It's really great. Have I told you guys how amazing the hobby of scrapbooking is? It's pretty great. It really is. It's a pretty great hobby. All right. So let's see. I wanted to pick at least 3 that were the 3x3s. And I think I decided that one won't be, that one won't be. Where'd my 3x3 go? I got caught stuck cutting up those 3. I know this is not as exciting, but it is an important factor of scrapbooking, trimming down your pictures. So, and if you're concerned about trimming down your pictures, then hopefully, again, these photos really eliminate some of those concerns. You know, a lot of times there's like, oh, print your pictures. You know, I've heard a lot of people say that, like, they'll try to plan it all out, like what size is their pictures and everything. And, you know, I do trim, like I'll sometimes print 3x4 pictures or little small bookmark cards, like, you know, the small little, oh, I have a few printed. Where are they? Like something like that, right? And then I'll just let that be my muse, my inspiration when I scrapbook those pictures into the mix. I'll be honest, I don't get too crazy about figuring out exactly what size is my pictures before I print, because honestly, it would just take so much more time. A lot of times I just know, and I've shared this before, it's about taking the picture. On some of them, you take them further back. Some of them you take it closer. In this case, I was just taking the pictures, and then I used the photo templates to really just help me make the game plan when I sit down to scrapbook. I don't make too much of a game plan before when I think about what picture sizes. I let the process help me figure out how to trim them down. If you find yourself being like, oh, I often can't trim down my pictures, then that's just a matter of when you're taking the pictures to try not taking them so close so that you do have that flexibility to trim or to adjust when you get to creating with them. So yeah, all of these were printed in 4x6s. I could have printed them smaller, clearly, but you know what? It would have taken me probably 3 times longer to think all through that before I actually sat down scrapbook. So no, I printed all 4x6s and I'm gonna just figure it out, which I'm almost there. I just need to now decide I cut all these down to 4x4s, but I might take this one and trim that down a bus. I think so, to a 3x3. And then I have this one I haven't trimmed down yet, but I love how it has like this path showing, so I kind of like that one. I'm gonna have to keep that one in place. This one can't be trimmed down a little bit more. Her pose here. This one might be able to be trimmed down. Here, let me try it. Let's pull on our handy dandy little templates here. That little bit of a shadow on her face. Yeah, that actually would work. Sweet. Okay. There we go. So I was sharing about the 4x4s. 4x4s are kind of simple because you can like mark one side and then trim the other part off because it's a 4x6, right? But in this case where I'm centering it in middle of a picture, I'm gonna just do kind of like a little bracket, like I guess you can say a sideways L and upside down L, right? And then that gives me the horizontal and vertical elements. So then I line that up right here on that line horizon here, and I trim that one first, and then I flip it, and then that downwards little mark that I made from that corner, I line that up, and I trim that, and then I flip it and I find my other corner here, and I line up my first as best as I can just by eyeing it. So just make sure you're steady. And then I take that, and then I have my other L, basically line that I made from the corner, and I prop that down. So that's kind of how I go about cropping those when it's more centered in a photo. So again, these were 4x6s, and yeah, I mean, from a saving of photo paper, I guess, so to speak, but at the same time, I don't know, time is money too, you know? Time is money too. So that's kind of what I do. As far as centering it or making it straight, your paper trimmer will do that because you're just lining it the best you can. And then I just line it again, eye that where I made that mark. And because the photo's straight, I'll get it straight. So I'm not tracing it out and cutting it out with scissors. I'm using my paper trimmer to 100% cut photos down. I don't think I've ever cut a photo by hand. I've always used the cropping tool and then cut it down with a paper trimmer. Okay. So of course, photos are a big part of our layout, and sometimes we want to just dive right in. I still have this one. Let me just mark. So see on this part, I only really need to mark the inside because what I can do is trim the top part off and then flip it over, line it up on 4, and then trim that off. Okay, guys, I can put this bulky, handy cutting blade away. I should have pulled out a trash can. I just cleaned this room, so part of me is like, Susan, maybe you shouldn't throw everything on the floor. but it's just habit. I have to. It's just my muscle memory says that I got to. Oh, hold on. I want to make sure that this is charging. I got a little nervous that it wasn't. There it goes. Okay. All right. How's everyone doing? You passed your photos, you passed your design, maybe you're at design, just getting to photos. Maybe you're still picking paper. Maybe you're just listening, which is fine too. I'm glad you're here with me today. Like I said, I really needed this. It's been a long week. It's been a long work week. And it's a perfect way, I think, to start my Saturday, my weekend. My sisters are coming into town. They are literally on the plane as we speak. So I guess maybe that's why it was such a long week, because I'm planning to take this next week off. And we have a sister's trip planned. And they're all coming to Charlotte. And we're going to go up to Myrtle Beach and hang out for a little bit. Maybe go down to Charleston. I'll show them around there. And so you know how it is. Whenever you're ready to take some time off or do anything, it's just like everything piles up and you just work really hard. So that's how this last week has been. So this is a really good start. I'm really loving this. And these pictures are so calming and so joyful. I love it. Okay, so from my sketch point of view, these are the photos. So that's why I felt like I really need to figure out the photos, because I might not have these places, although I really want something up here. And I do want to pull in the rings, because you can never go wrong with rings. You just can't. They're so great. So great. I love rings. Love them. Love them lots, as Mary says. Okay. So in this case, I'm going to be using, I don't think we used the larger one in that sketch. So rings 4, 3, and 2. And I just saw laurel crescents in my little thing here. And I might have to pull on laurel crescents for an extra layer. But again, this sketch was very kind of the foundational basics. And that's what I love, because now you can build up, or you can keep it basic. You can customize it to a theme easily and all of that stuff. And I pointed out a few places where I see opportunities for little extra, nothing crazy, like little clusters. Maybe it's not, if you didn't want to do it here, then I would do it like here. Because when it comes to the accessorizing, the embellishing part, whether you're doing a more substantial one, in this case, because we built a pretty good backdrop, you really only need maybe tiny plants or tiny seaside or something, just small little things. Or maybe this is a good time to pull in some of your embellishing stashes, these flowers that you never, that feel like they're floating, or stickers that feel like they're floating on your page. The templates will give you that foundation to not only use your paper stash, but to also pull in and use some of those other elements that you have. I actually have these stickers right here that I thought about throwing in. We'll see. Still trying to decide if it's quite the vibe I want to go for. Yes, Lori, you can be my sister. Yes, we will do a sister trip. We need to have I know, I need to get it on the docket. You guys, there's so much to always do. You know how it is, but we need a good in-person thing. COVID's been over for a bit, and it's just lots of other operational things we're dealing with just right now with the warehouse and moving the warehouse and growing spaces and all of that stuff. It's all good stuff. Just, you know, time and resources. But I guess what I'm trying to get to is we need to do an in-person. I'm also wanting to do an in-person. It would be so much fun. Okay. Yes, my sisters. We're all so different. I don't know if I've shared this enough, or I've talked about. So I'm the youngest, I really need to get into the paper cutting part because then I can just chatter with you guys and then I'm not sitting here not doing anything. So maybe I'll keep all my stories once I get into the cutting phase, because once I get into the cutting phase, it's all downhill from there. Which I guess I'm pretty much there. I just think for me, I'm looking at this. I will come back to that story. I will. Let me get to this progress in this page, which we've already made so much progress, but I promise my brain will be able to function a lot better when I'm like in the cutting phase. Okay. So what I was trying to get to is my brain wants to work on this part really fast and figure out what it is that I want to do on my page. And you might be feeling the same way as well, right? Okay. So again, this sketch really helps. I mean, if I had more photos, but I don't. I do love this sketch. I'll probably do it again and again and again. And that's what's great, is that you can really create multiple pages and each one will probably look so different. But see how this is so fun here with the mini borders, how it just kind of butts up right against that. I did pull out these other pages. I shared this when we did the release party, just to show again some of these after pages of some of those sketches that are in the sketchbooks. Of alternative ways to also utilize mini borders on a 12 by 12. And a mini album. I know a lot of you guys are excited about the mini albums too, but I really think one of the fun ways that I've come to discover I love mini borders too is to use them in the mix of my pages. So this is also a good example of vertical and horizontal usage with a clear focal point. So that is a really good go-to. I don't feel like this could be wrong. Actually, these two pages have similar design elements, meaning the photos across the middle. They're placed differently, but you can see slight similarity, right? Well, they're different. You got top, bottom on the mini borders, and you got bottom right on those mini borders. Both of those are really fun layouts. And those sketches are in the Riley Boulevard, the Mini Riley Drive sketchbook that we also have in the shop. But if you want to get started with this bonus sketch today, awesome. Pull out Mini Riley Drive. Let's create something together. I want you guys just to flood the community with your samples that you made with this border. I would love to see them. It's a fun new set. Mix them with some of your other sets and let's create some pages with it. It will be, I can't wait to see how your guys' pages turn out using this new Mini Riley Drive. So hopefully you're creating something right now. Little steps, little progress, and then you share it in the community because that will make my day. It's so fun to see what you guys create. Okay, so I'm going to fill these places in because I still think that this space needs a clean line. I think that's really something specific about this specific design sketch. Whether you had a photo there to fill it or not, I think again, I just happen to have decided to use this paper that was a Simple Stories, and Simple Stories always has these type of things in their paper designs. So that might be works. Now the question is, do I have one that matches maybe the sentiment that I would like to express about my creative expression of these memories of my Riley? It's your time to bloom. That's pretty on point. That would work. It could be decorative. That's always fun too. That's actually really cute idea. Makes me want to use the little bicycle again from the Kiwi Club kits. Although, I think maybe I want to go more the plant vibe. We're not on a porch, so that won't work. And then live simply is one of my absolutely favorite mottos. I think it's amazing. I think anything we can simplify is always beneficial, and which is hence why the Play to Create system. But you can have simplicity and beauty, and I always look for that. That's why I like simple and cute. I think that you can always have both. Let's go with It's Your Time to Bloom. That's cute. I think that one works. Okay, so I have that space taken care of. And I'm gonna now just see what my game plan for that space, and then it's just choosing some paper patterns from my leftover kit here, and that works with the sizings of my desires. And then I'm going to then go to the other final step, and that is to accessorize. So I'm doing it a little different today, as I expressed, because of what I'm trying to accomplish in using this leftover kit. So I'm just kind of taking one step at a time, because this leftover paper is going to kind of be what controls how much paper I have. And so I don't want to add too many layers too quickly, because then I might not have the paper to accommodate for the design choices, because I don't have a full kit like I typically do. So I really want to work that in. Okay, last choice, and then I'll talk about my sisters. Because I can't do both. All right. I really kind of thought that this would be cute. Maybe what I do is I put this picture here, because it almost brings a focal point, and maybe another little decorative thing there. I could pull on the Live Simply, which again, I can use my photos to see if I can trim that in and be okay with what I'm trimming off. Oh, that's cute. Okay, so I could put another little decorative block there. I could put journaling there. I could put journaling here. I could put, I'm just doing the what ifs. I could. So maybe some type of journaling would be cute here. And I'll just do a little cluster to fill in that section there. I do think there's something clean about those 3 photos. It just feels different than I typically place my photos, which is also really fun about this sketch. So yeah. All right. I wish they had a journaling card on this thing. I'm sure I can find one. It just might mean I have to go hunt for a little bit of something that could work for my journaling need. Let's see. Rise and shine. I could cut those words out. So again, we're going to use these scraps up. We're going to use them up. I'm really hoping, now that I'm looking at my leftover kit here, that I have some pattern that's going to be efficient for these rings that I have here. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. Journaling, done. Plan, that's what I'm going to utilize that space for. I don't have a photo, so I'm going to put a journaling there. I don't have a photo here, so I'm going to put a focal sentiment there. And then I will use all these other accent pieces in various different ways. Oh, I just wish that some of those had patterns on the back. Okay, I guess I should have took a close look at my kit here before I, yeah, we're gonna go with it. That's what you can't, sometimes not everything's the perfect fit. You just have to adjust and pivot. Hence creativity, right? It's so good for our brains to be conditioned to do that. Because what happens is when we do that in our hobbies and our scrapbooking, then we're using the same muscle in our home creations and in our career creations, because we're always constantly faced with making decisions and solving problems and things like that. So it's super nice for us to have that same approach and flexibility in our hobbies, because then, yeah. Okay, enough with the philosophy. I know I can get a little fixated on that. I really enjoy that type of stuff though, and I've learned a lot about it. So the point being is, it's super, there's so many benefits to actually including some time on your calendar for your hobbies, because you're actually helping yourself more than you actually think, not just in the finishing of the project, but in the ways that I just said. Okay, so for the rings here, I'm just gonna do little halves, so that's great with these scraps. This one will fit the way that the rings work is they nest inside of each other. So I absolutely know I can do that. I'm looking at this word paper thinking, oh, that could work. I'll be honest, I'm leaning away from it because I don't want the words to compete with this focal point. Also, it would be limiting. Well, luckily this paper is double-sided, so I can use the pink or the green or the words here. So I guess we can try the words, and if it's too busy, then I'll just flip it over. I'm just double checking to see if there's not another one that I want to work with. There's not enough of this stripe, so again, kind of as I'm using the leftovers here. I think the borders are always a great place, and I've shared this before. I feel like they're a great place to put what I consider what I would label as a main pattern, and these flowers, for me, fit that criteria. And so based off of my kind of other experience with pattern paper, I usually designate my mains to kind of, not always, but a lot of times it just works. It anchors it without overwhelming your page. Okay, so let me trace these out with what I have here, and we'll go from there. I do like the smaller flowers too, Carol. The black and white ones. Yeah, those are pretty ones. And like I said, she does like, well, I guess it's not black and white, sorry. The black background is what I was trying to imply. Which I'll get to here in a moment. So yes, I am the youngest in my family. And I have 8 siblings. I am the 9th child in my family, so I'm the baby. And of those 8 additional siblings, I have 5 sisters and 3 brothers. So the brothers aren't invited this weekend. It's just me and my older sisters. I think, I don't know, yeah, it's gonna be really fun. We always have crazy stories to tell afterwards and so forth. I'm very grateful that we started this. To be honest, I was thinking about this trip as it came up, and sorry, I'm gonna compose myself for a moment so that I don't. Okay, so my mom, she would have loved this. She would have loved the fact that, oh, maybe I shouldn't talk about it. No, it's good. It's good. Just let me breathe for a few times. No, she would have really. See, this is why I have to cut and do this at this time, because I was like, oh, if I talk about my sisters, then I talk about my mom, because I can't help but think about my mom when I think about my sisters. So we're all so different, but I feel like I see a little bit of my mom in each of us, and so that's why I think of my mom when I think of my sisters. None of them are my mom, but a little bit of them in each of them is my mom. So, well, I didn't expect that, but I didn't expect that. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is going to be a good therapy session. Gosh, guys. No. Where was I going with that? I don't even know. My brain went blank. Ah, boy, oh boy. Anyways, I guess I was just pointing out that we are so different. But and I knew that my mom would love this. And gosh, when my mom was alive, we went on a few trips, but it just seemed like everybody's lives were so busy, And then, of course, my mom passed away a few years ago, and then we decided to go on a trip 3 years ago, or gosh, 2 years ago. And then we decided to do a sister trip, try to make it work every 2 years. And we do it in February because my mom's, nope, I wasn't planning on this at all. My mom's birthday's in February. And so we decided to do it in February and try to make it happen every 2 years. And I'm very grateful for that. Sometimes, I'll be honest, as I was thinking about leading up, that I think, dang it, like, why didn't we make more of an effort when my mom was alive to do this? And I think as scrapbookers, we can all resonate with that because we know that life changes and we know how precious life is. And so, yeah, all I can say is never miss the opportunity to make memories. Never miss the opportunities to make them. And just like all things in life, it takes coordination and effort and planning and putting them on the calendar to make them happen. And, it's just like enjoying scrapbooking. I know that I have to put it on the calendar. I just do, which is what the Kiwi Club is all about. We really try to encourage that because I'm really grateful that scrapbooking has taught me that lesson. Scrapbooking and scrapbookers, hanging out with you guys, I really feel like there's just so many valuable lessons that we really are faced with as we scrapbook and ground ourselves in these memories that make us just really appreciate how valuable life is and how fleeting and yet changing life is and how beautiful life is. Like, even though I'm sitting here and I got emotional about my mom, like, it's not really a heartbreak. It's just more of I don't know. It's just appreciation, So, yeah. Yes. Okay. I love the rings, guys. I love them so much. So you can see how, just like with, that was a weird transition, but it is what it is. No, how with some scraps you can still accommodate those efforts, and how easy with the design templates you can utilize your scraps of paper as well. So, and it was pretty basic, pretty simple. All right, so that decision's done. Let's throw in our borders. That will really help even feel more progress on this layout. So I'm kind of with you. I really do, Carol, well, there's a few flowers in this collection, guys. I have this flower, which I kind of like that one. I do. I forgot it. And then this one's actually backed up with another flower, which are basically two mains. I wouldn't have done it that way, Simple Stories, but that's okay. We'll work with it. And then the smaller flower, so what I'm looking for is only the patterns that I think I have enough to get a border out. And I think I can easily get a border out on this part. I have enough paper here to get this out. This, of course, I don't have enough. This one, I have enough, but I don't want to go the bike theme. I don't even know if I'll use this sheet at all because I'm not going to use those. And I don't think, at this point, I don't think I'm going to use the bike at all. There's no place for it. And there's this one. So there is this pretty other pattern here. You know what I just realized? I don't have anything to butt up and support my other one. I might have to pull in a solid somewhere, which I'm sure I have pink. I will look for something here in a minute. So now I have to go out of my leftover kit, but that's okay. That's okay. All right. What do we think? What do we think? Lori, yes. I think that feeling is, I do miss my mom. I think for me, for all honesty, I think it's just, I know how much she would have loved that. And that thought is what makes me get choked up. But I also know that she loves that we get together, and she's probably just so happy at the thought that we're still trying to prioritize each other. And I know that thought would also make her happy. So I think that's what I got choked up about. So, but I do miss her as well, clearly. Oh, which flower, guys? All right, so Carol, you still love the smaller flower. I do think that yeah, it does absolutely balance. It does balance it. We'll go with that. I think that's the one that was calling you the first time and I was agreeing with you. So I think that's true. So I'm going to do the busier pattern on the top. And then whenever I do like a double layer, I do either like it as a supporting, which would be something like this, which I don't have, or some type of blender or solid, because it almost gives it like a shadow feel when you do two borders on top of each other. And so now I got to just find where on this piece of paper is the best place to pull this from, which I think is right here. Okay, so this is black. So hopefully you guys won't be able to see it, but I will be able to see it. And if again, you run into that issue, just pull in a white pen or a white pencil actually as well. I have a white pencil, but I think I can manage and see this. I think I'm good. Okay, so I'll trim this paper up again. We'll try to get it out of that little spot here. Do the straight edge first. Now we're ending up with more little scraps. And then there we go. Just need to clean that up so I can actually get to cutting that out easily. Okay. Now I can cut that out. Who said burlap? Linda? Oh no, Carol. I was like, who said burlap? I could add a little texture at the bottom. I could add a white for a clean feel. I kind of want to keep it very soft. Burlap has a warmth about it, which is really great. I just don't know if that warmth is 100%, that brown warmth is in this paper line. Exactly what I would want it to be represented to balance that burlap. But we can try. We can try. You know, a little bit of, oh, you know what would really soften it up? Oh gosh, where did I put those? I just had them out during the PJ play date. The doilies. The doilies would absolutely soften this up a little bit too. If we're gonna kind of reach outside of the box a little bit here. I found them. I just had them out, so lucky me. I knew exactly where they were. How pretty would that be with some little doilies in here? Maybe instead of that ring, I do a doily over there. You can never go wrong if you go to the dollar store. Pick up some doilies. They come in handy. I don't use them often, but when you do, it's really nice. All right, so I found another doily. We'll find those in the mix. I'm gonna just lay them here for a moment since I thought about them and I don't want to forget about them, but we don't need to decide that yet. We don't need to decide that. Okay, then this bottom layer is the one that I'm a little torn on simply because I want to, well, I don't know. What do I want to do? I don't have a pattern that's, I mean, I could do that pattern, but it's going to compete. And I know that already, and I don't want that to happen. And I don't, unfortunately, have enough of this, which would have supported that. It doesn't compete. It would have supported it. So I will think of, let me see what I got here. I can try burlap. I do have some right here. Yeah, I just don't know if that's quite the vibe I want to go for. We could do white, just a clean trim white. That could be pretty too. We could change it up a little bit. Where did my borders go? I just traced and cut out. Yeah, like a solid pink blush or a solid, here's the other option. Again, you might have to pivot a little bit if you're trying to objectively use your paper. I'm just going to see what that would look like. Oh, it pulls a little bit of that character out. I was going to say we can almost do a lining of the same border, which I like to do if I'm doing like a clean white. It almost gives it like a nice lining to the other border instead of having such a solid piece be such a focal point, because I just was imagining this being all white and I was like, oh, it's going to really pull the attention to it. And so I kind of want the whole page to be its attention instead of one specific place being that attention. So let's see our other just quick choices here, because otherwise you can spend too long trying to make do. Let's see. That pink's a little too blush, not quite lining up. I do actually have this kind of specialty paper. It's not quite. It has like a little texture to it, which could be fun. It's like, I think I've shared, yeah, this, you guys have seen this? Oh, the darker green suggestion. I missed that. Oh, here's, I have a little scrap that's darker green. That could be pretty. That seems to be this. I just happen to have that over there. That's great. Okay, so then the question is, do I do, because I'm doing a solid, more of a blender solid, I guess I should say, do I just do the clean edges, or do I just do the fun funky one that is just so fun in Riley Drive 3 and 3B? You know, I think I'm leaning towards simple. You know, you guys know me. I do like a little touch of, I don't know. I think that the nature, just the whimsiness of this picture, so maybe it just kind of supports that, right? Okay, let's do that then. So hopefully this width, I think we can make it work. I'm just gonna line it up in the middle of this scrap that I have, and we'll just see what happens there. Okay. Hit my finger. I went and got my nails done yesterday because I was a little embarrassed last time. No, I wasn't embarrassed, but they were long overdue. Oh, they were long overdue. I did this ombre. Can you guys see that? I'm really loving it. I think it's kind of one of my favorite ways that I've done my nails before. It's called ombre. So it's not like a French tip. It's like, yeah, it's just ombre. I guess I have to stop moving my hand for you guys to see it. But they have to do your nails a little bit longer to accomplish it. So these nails, I usually trim back quite a bit when I get my nails done. But in this case, they were like, well, if you want the ombre, you're going to have to go longer. And I was like, oh, but it's really pretty. I don't know if I can keep it up with that, because in a week, then my nails will be back to too long for me. Too long for me, but it helps me from not, I have this bad habit. I actually think, and my mom did it too, so I feel like it's a tick that I got from my mom, where I like kind of pick at my cuticles, so the nails help me not do that. That's really the reason why I go and get them done. But it's like hit and miss. I'm on and off all the time with my nails. But yeah, it was pretty. I like the ombre look. Okay, I wanted to ink this just to fully grasp what we think of this green layer here, which adds to, again, the vibe. You know what we can also do, because this is not quite the width. I liked, again, how it bunted up. So either I'm going to try to bunt the top and the point here at the bottom. But another thought I had was I could do, again, depending on what papers we have, I could just do another strip if it's not quite lining. So if you find yourself in the same predicament, then maybe just a little bit of a strip. I think honestly I'm going to add some strips across here that wasn't on the sketch, but that would be a really nice little finishing touch too, is to just take a strip and put it across that. It will give it a nice finished touch as well. All right. This one has more of my pencil marks on this side of the border, but that's okay. I'm going to just ink right over those. Just ink right over them. And then we'll mirror that, side A, side B, on the other side. Okay. My jacket just knocked all of that. Well, all right. Okay, how many of you are just excited to now go and play with the mini Riley? If you're not playing now, hopefully you're excited to. Hopefully you're excited to be like, oh, this is not a bad sketch. You can envision what it can be like. You don't have to terribly overthink it. And hopefully at some point this weekend, you can accomplish it, because I can't wait to see what your guys' version looks like. All right. I think a doily makes sense, right? They're super cute. I think that we could do that. Maybe on this doily over here, we tuck it in. If I want to do half, I can cut it in half. Yeah, maybe it's not quite half. Well, I like that it's inside of the circle, because I like that edge to be there. I was playing around just for a moment. What you saw me do is lay that there, but I feel like you'll lose a little bit of that surface of that. I'm trying to think how to explain that. But just the edging, the lining of that. So I think it's almost like it needs to go like that. And then I'll have, yeah, I really love that it keeps the silhouette of that in place without too much covering it. Okay, good, good. Actually, I don't have, now that I think about it, I might have to do a white strip, because I don't have anything in my leftover kit that will be the full, well, this would be the full 12-inch strength, the full 12-inch length for this flower. I just think we're gonna get too heavy on the flower. Okay, I'll come back to that. Oh, I wish I had a little bit more of this stripe. How pretty that would be, but that's not much there. Okay, I'm gonna pull in now the accessorizing. I think I just add a little bit of a embellishment, accessorizing, and I think we're gonna be good. I do think I can definitely use, now that I have a little bit of structure and a backdrop, I can absolutely, I feel like it's always easier to add stickers once you have that foundation, the basic foundation on your page. Now you can see where the stickers are going to be used. I don't know about you guys, but in the past, I've always had a hard time adding stickers because they always felt like they're floating, or that you just like sneezed on a page. So what I recommend, if you're wanting to use stickers, again, get a basic piece, a structure to your page first. Once you have the structure, then you can start like making, well, where can I fit a sticker, or where can I add a sticker without overwhelming the page? And that just makes it easier to make those decisions than trying to think about what accessories you're going to use before you even get to this step. So if you find yourself trying to like make a game plan for the whole page before you start, just go from phases to phases. Pictures, framing, add a backdrop, then think about how to embellish it, because now you see where places you can maybe add a little bit of accessorizing, or again, embellishments or stickers or things like that. Linda says, if you were me, I would be punching holes in that green border. Love punching of details. Absolutely. Yes. That could actually add a lot of, cute little details, and we could totally go that extra mile. And now that you said that, I could even imagine, Linda, where you punch some little holes underneath that, kind of like lacy or funky trails, fancy frills, right? Same similar in fashion, but I could see also ribbon being thread through those holes. Ugh, now you guys are going, now my brain is like, rah. But those are the little details. You can, depending on your preference and your style, you can go from basic to, layers to in the details. And so I think for me, I have the basic, and now I'm going to go into adding a few more layers. And the way I want to do that is through my accessory choices. Tiny plants to the rescue. I'm not gonna lie, I remember when we first released Tiny Plants, a few were like, what? Why? And they were commenting about how small they were, and which I was like, right, off of first impression. But I have not used a set more in the time period since the set has been released than I have of Tiny Plants. Let's just say that. It always comes in handy. Granted, in this case, it's coming in handy because it actually really does, I think, align with the theme that I'm kind of trying to express, the vibe. I guess I would say vibe, because it's not so much a theme on this pictures and these memories. It's not a theme, it's a vibe. I'm trying to capture the essence of the vibe that I want. And so, yeah. All right. Trying to think over here on this left side. So I did mention like this would be a really good cute spot. I actually think that's really cute, but I would almost do that if that was open. But since I'm deciding to put this here, I almost am tempted to put one right in the middle and almost make that a focal point. Maybe a little collective leaf. I could put it there and there. I think that might be too, again, the vibe for me is just simple and just cozy, carefree, I guess is a good way to describe it. Very carefree, simple. That's probably, we just felt that way in the moment, and that's kind of how I feel again as I relive these moments. So I'll kind of see where that takes us. This one's not my favorite to cut, I'll be honest. And so, but gosh, boy, does it make, and when I say that, even in the reality, I'm like, oh, it takes 2 minutes to cut. But, it does make a big impact. It really does. So every time I find myself saying, oh, do I want to cut that? Then I remember last time and how great it looked on your page. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I do want to use it. Okay guys, I'm looking at these other pieces. I really think that's, let me put the rest over in my tray here. Keep that out for a moment. Let me see if there's anything else that I may want to go for. Lori says it can add white glitter. Oh, you could add a little, yeah. You could definitely add a little bling if you like the sparkly. Linda says I like to match my stickers and make them like, oh, Embora. Okay. Would be, yes, Tiny Plants is a great go filler. It's a great filler, but it's also a great, it's in the small details. It's just small little details. Sometimes we don't need big embellishments. It just depends. And then because in this specific layout, the photos are really doing a lot of the fillers, right? So in this case, I'm using Tiny Plants as a tiny accent, a little bit of an accent. Yeah. So if you don't have Tiny Plants and you don't have rings, I'll tell you right now, those 2 sets that we're utilizing today are well used. I can just tell you that now. I have well used those sets, well beyond what I paid or will pay or you will pay for them. And then I feel the same way. I think my mini Riley Drive is going to be similar in that case. It's just a good simple foundation. Or not simple, because you can also take it up a notch. I keep looking at this thinking, is that it? That's all I want to do? I really do think so. And then I think from there, I'm going to definitely add a few of these, and that's where I think some things like that will come into play. So with the stickers, let me grab some white cardstock that I already chopped up. Where's my white cardstock chopped? Okay, there's a piece. But yeah, I'm like with my stickers too. Instead of placing them strictly on your page, I like to place them on paper. I think that's what you were implying, Linda. And then put them in. I'm just reading these little strips, seeing if there's anything. Whatever is good for your soul, do that. That one's cute. I like that one. No rain, no flowers. Oh, not quite there. You are my home and my adventure. Not quite. Always stay humble and kind. Good advice. I like little nuggets on pages. I think that's always great. So I'm just placing these on, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them apart. Hello there, sunshine. It's a good general one. I'm trying to look at these other stickers. I have these plants. I was hoping to use more of these stickers, dang it. I just don't think some of those will work. Oh, and this is really cute. I always enjoy those scallops, but let's see. Maybe we'll find a place where we'll get creative here in a moment. Okay. Let's cut those out. How's everyone doing on time? I apologize if I'm keeping you too long. All right. Snip this off. And then we will, I always love transformation of a page. I just love that literally, an hour or so ago you never know how a page is going to turn out. And then it's just so fun to see that kind of come together, It's a little intimidating to do it sometimes on a live, but it always comes together is the point. It always does. And you just have to trust the process, and at the same time, having a process and a method is helpful too. And that's why I really enjoy the Play to Create concept, because it's just really helped make scrapbooking for me, honestly, enjoyable. I do enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy it too. It really has. And I know we've shared our story before, like our origin story, but it really did transform scrapbooking for me. And I think that's why I still am like, everyone's like, oh, is it work? And I'm like, well, and I've shared this before. I'm like, work is like running a business. That's what I do for work. And I've learned a lot in learning how to run a business, but scrapbooking is still my hobby. I scrapbook purely because I enjoy it. And yes, it is great because it does also double up in the sense of work. But usually when I have moments like this with you guys, it's just because I enjoy it. I just genuinely enjoy it. So thank you so much for spending your Saturday with me. And I hope that you're enjoying it as well. It's super fun. I just saw this plant guy and I was thinking, where could I maybe put that in? I don't know. Do you guys see any other stickers on here that you think it could be tempting? This could be cute maybe in the middle of that, but I need to cut the flowers out first. So maybe that's what I need to do really fast. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Monica, that is a very valid point. We add those lines, the 12-inch borders, purely to also, because you can use any of the borders like this fashion too. So I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because yeah, because well, let me grab a border. So don't forget that. If you're starting to see some of these mini borders and you're like, oh, but you know what, I'm kind of getting, tired of using Mini Riley all over, then pull in Mini Mattis or Mini Aspen and just go to the 8 inches, because they have these. Well, we've upped those on some of the versions. If you have some of the older versions, it might not, but that was an addition we added to the design, just because we're like, yeah, we want you guys to be able to use them as mini borders and other borders. Now, we'll still look into unvaulting the mini borders, because I know a lot of you guys are like, I want the mini borders still, even with knowing that. I get it. But yeah, it's a good one. A good thing to remember. Sometimes those little things we overlook. Oh, I saw this pattern. That pattern will be so cute in the leaves. Okay, sorry, just assessing what little scraps I have here. I have this little yellow that I loved. It was so pretty. We're definitely gonna use that. Do I have a pink? Do I have a pink? Sometimes leftovers can be a little bit more of a effort, but not too much. This came together pretty simple. I'm really happy with how it's coming together. It just, again, you have to work with what the paper you have. And sometimes that can be a little bit more strenuous. But it's also what can spark that creative out of the box thinking too. By saying, well, I can't do that pattern, but I can do these 3 patterns. So what of those 3 do I want to cut my rings out of? What one will fit my borders? Well, which one? We had to pull in a green, so that was a good suggestion. Really loved that. And I got lucky. It was in hand reach. That doesn't happen all the time. That does not happen all the time. So that was nice. All right, a little pop-up on that. It's gonna be so cute. All right, I think some yellow. I like the little bit of more yellow in there just because it brightens it a little bit. So we're gonna cut a yellow one here. I think I might actually cut 2. One from here, and I'll put a little yellow over on this side to balance that too. So again, this is Tiny Plants. I've only used Tiny Plants, rings, and Mini Riley. Those are the only ones that I've used. I was thinking about cutting that out of another one, but maybe we cut this out of yellow. So I won't jump too ahead yet. All right. Yeah, this is a pretty yellow. I like yellow. It's always a happy color. Happy, happy color. Rosalind says the mini borders were her first purchase, which kind of, did you use them on your one-pagers, Rosalind? Because I know you love your one-pagers, which kind of makes sense that you were like, oh, I can use those more easily on the one-pagers. Or maybe you did mini albums. No, I don't know. You tell me, Rosalind. The lantern, I could take a look at the lantern. I'm trying to think how a lantern works in this. Where's that lantern? Oh, it is cute. It does have like a more softer look on it. And the boot was cute too. I just don't know. That's the thing. You have to be careful with stickers. Well, at least my experience anyhow is that You can get a little too sticker happy. That's kind of cute. Just another one over here. That's what I wanted to test really fast. Okay, I like that. So I'm gonna cut another one out. I'm gonna cut another one out and hopefully I can get one out of this scrap. Let's see. Close enough. Close enough. Hold on, let me try this section. Sometimes you gotta twist it. No, this is the best section over here. So my petal is coming off a little bit, but when I go to trim that, I'm just gonna round that corner. So we are gonna make every piece of scrap work to our advantage. To our advantage. Okay. All right. Am I still in frame? Okay. So right here, see how that petal wasn't quite? I'm just gonna kind of round it and just adjust that just a little bit. I don't think it's, not in this design anyhow, it doesn't throw it off too much. So I'm just going to do that. And then again on these circles, the best way to do that is when you're following a petal, just use your not cutting hand, but your other one to glide it through. Like I'm using this to go like this, right? I promise once you kind of do that a few times consciously, it becomes muscle memory after that. So you just kind of see how I'm kind of gliding it through my scissors with my alternate hand. And then I'm going to yell, so please ignore me. Right, Lacey? You put the laundry in? Thank you. Can you check it? Okay. Let's see. A little bit more green up in the mix. Why not? I was just taking a deep breath because I loved scrapbooking these pictures today of Riley. It was really fun. It's really nice to look at her face the whole thing. It's hard when they start leaving your home and growing up. Sometimes it's these little moments that we get in between. All right. Okay, this leaf, plants number 7T, I'm trying to pick it up, is also a really fun. I feel like I always reach for this one the most. I love the curve on it. I just feel like it always can, like, one, either go right next to a picture. It has a really pretty curve on it. It can go next to, it's a really cute tuck behind of a flower. It's, yeah, I always feel like I reach for this one in tiny plants. So it's a fun one. And similar to the flowers, again, you have a lot of round curves here. Now at the same time, it's really nice because I was able to take advantage of this scrap of paper and pull this one design easily out of that without too much wrestling, right? But it does have a lot of round curves. So similar like the flowers, you want to kind of just glide it through and just take that a little slower if needed because of its size. And then when it comes to inking, I just do kind of a really rough edge on all of those sizes or sides, and then get my hands good and dirty in the process. And that's okay. It's fixable. Yeah, see how cute just look how cute that is. Ah, I love it. Riley is 19 and Lacey is 16 now. Can you guys believe that? Crazy, crazy. Lacey has been doing a lot of scrapbooking lately. I asked her if she wanted to do a live, and she said, I'll think about it. I said, okay. But she's she, you know, she got bored one day and gosh, it was at the Christmas break. And, you know, whenever your kid says I'm bored, you're thinking, okay, go do this, this, and this. But she's like, well, I just want to do something with my hands. And I said, well, you can go scrapbook. And she was like, okay. And so then I pulled some stuff out, taught her a few sewing tricks. She really enjoyed that on her pages, which is great because she, you know, she has more time than I do, especially at that time. And so she was really enjoying that. And she really caught on fast. She's a quick learner, so quick. And anyways, so yeah, it's fun. I don't feel like out of all my other girls at 16, they doodled in scrapbooking here and there. I've already shared with you, Abby really loves the file folders. That's the niche that she really was drawn to. But Lacey seems to be more into that tactileness of it. Well, just the more of this traditional, I guess I should say. So, oh, yeah, it is fun. So, all right. We'll see as she continues to grow how that does. Now, granted, I wasn't much into scrapbooking till I think maybe when I started out. I mean, I did it in high school, and I definitely was like spent any downtime doing it, which helped me process a lot at that age, I think, which is also another benefit of scrapbooking. But yeah, you know, once I was young kids and I put the kids to bed, I always enjoyed that. But I always was definitely, I learned it from my mom, always be doing something with my hands. I always saw her do it. But there's something about that too at the same time. So to have something to do with your hands. Okay, guys. Oh, what was I doing? I was going to cut this other leaf out. Again, easy little scenario in this case. I just balance, especially when it comes to pattern papers. Just balance. So once you make one choice on one side, the second choice similarly, you can find some similar design and it makes it easy on that next choice when it comes to picking paper. That is my little tip, continual tip that I often look for when deciding on patterns. Okay, well, I did this pattern on the left. What can I do on the right that would be that pattern? And then I'll put that design out. I think somebody mentioned maybe putting, was it glitter paper in this guy? I told you guys that one's not my favorite. Ooh, I could do black, a solid black. That could be pretty. I could do this, yeah, something solid. This pattern has more busier patterns, or this line. Let me ink this one. I don't know if I was cutting, I think I was cutting off screen, sorry. I was cutting it close to me. So that's good. Okay, sorry, I keep showing these guys and I keep getting that question, these tabs. I am working on a prototype. I promise I'm almost done with the details and the specs, but I've done it to all of mine and I've been testing it out to see if it's annoying, if I like it, and I keep showing it in the videos, but I'm working on a little prototype right now. So it's not official yet. It still has to go through production and all these other phases, but I'll say that like when I'm, you know, trying to find a template or something, it's been really handy. So I think I'm past the testing phase. I just need to know. Yes, but that's what it is, Trisha. That's what it is. So soon, guys. Like I said, I was trying to make sure that they were functional and that they were feasible, and now it's just on to the other phase. And the problem is I usually test that out on my own stuff. And I keep showing them in the video, and then even the team is like, you keep showing them, and they keep asking or emailing support. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't even think about it. So, yeah. Okay, I have to add a little pop-up because, I don't know, because it's so fulfilling. It's so satisfying. There's something about pop-up. Now these little things on the back of the pop-ups, those things are a little bit of annoying, but there's something about seeing your pieces just start popping up off of each other's layers which is the same reason why I enjoy inking. I just like to see the layers start to pop off from each other. So yeah. Okay, black. Should I try black on this lovely guy here? Let me see. I was getting so lucky, guys. Every time I turn around, what I'm looking for is right there. I was just thinking maybe black glitter. I know one of you guys mentioned glitter, but maybe I have black glitter. I might not be as lucky on that one. Let me look through. I do have a little white left. I have well, yeah, I might not be as lucky on that. So if all else fails, you work with what you have, which is I'm always saying. It can be tempting to put off a project, to be like, oh, I'll go get that. Nope. No, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I think if it all else fails, you just work with what you got. Hold on, I'm giving it one more pass. I found some red. That won't work. That won't work. Okay. I could add glitter, I guess, to it. Some stickles. We can add some enamel dots, actually, or something cute. I will say, this little sprig, I think the biggest thing you have to do is when you're tracing it, you really have to just slow your tracing down, because the template, it will want to move. And so you need to kind of see how I'm picking up my hands and moving around them. Anyways, but what I was going to also say about this sprig is it really is cute for little enamel dots on this end. It's never not been adorable. It's so cute whenever I've done it. So you could do that. You could add little enamel, or like, right, you can use Nuvo and just add little dots on them if you don't have enamel dots. Yeah, that could be cute too. All right, and then, okay, because I know I made fun of this sprig saying that it's not, I do resist sometimes, but then it's good. It's good to make sure that my brain is, it's not that complicated. It really isn't. It just takes a little slowing down, and maybe that's the thing. I like to work at a faster pace, and I'm like, okay, I have to slow down for this sprig here. But every time it's worth it. Yeah, you can see it's a little bit more finicky. And I mean that in the best ways, in all honesty. But it is something that you just need to slow down. Even I have to slow down on that. Just making sure those curves, going around those curves. Okay. Maybe we put it down here. No, here. I think it definitely needs a little bit of dressing up to stand out. What do you guys think? It's not quite the statement in that color. It's not quite not the statement, I guess. Here, I want to see what one looks like over here. Oh, I think we might have to cut two out. Yay, we got to cut it out again. We got to do it one more time. I will say the good thing about black is actually pencil shows up on solid black really well. Or, you know, it shows up. I guess I shouldn't say really well, but it does show up. Unlike like a black pattern, because the pattern is harder to see, but on a solid black, you actually can kind of see that, right? So it shows pretty well. And then what we do is we're going to detach. Never wrestle with the big piece of paper. You'll never win, so don't do it. And then you're just going to slowly, I stay on the back ends around the curves, because then I'm going to use my other hand to rotate it all the way around. Then I'm going to use the front of my scissors to snip in, the front of my scissors to snip in, and here. And then when I'm about to go around that curve again, I'm going to slide to the back of my scissors and use the whole length of my scissors to rotate that around that curve. Finish it off. Snip, pull back, go around. You guys going to start folding laundry? You should. You going to start folding that? Thank you. Eli was like, no. Again, just kind of slow that down. And there we go. And on this one, because black, I don't really ink black, I just flip it over. You can ink around those pencil lines if you want, but in this case, since I'm using black, and because it's black cardstock, I just flip that over and use the other side. Don't have to worry about the pencil lines or anything like that. All right. That's cute. I'm loving it. I need something in the middle of these flowers. I need something in the middle of the, I'm so tempted to sew along those edges, Linda, because you got that stuck in my head. You got it stuck in my head now. All right. Stickers. What do we want to do with the stickers? What if we, let me see here. I'm kind of feeling like maybe a little bit of a white mat here will pull this in and anchor the 1, 2, 3, because either you can go a balance 1, 2, you can do the pyramid 1, 2, 3. I'm thinking actually a little bit of an anchor there will solidify these a little bit more. So before I go into extra details, depending on how long you guys want to hang around here for. Sorry, let me take a drink and then look at the time. Where are we at? 12:30. We'll go till 1. How about that? We'll see as much detail as I can. And if you guys need to go, that's totally fine. If you're creating along, hopefully you're making progress on your page too. Oh, nope, I trimmed that one a little off. What did I do there? There we go. That's now a 3. Okay. I like this picture of us both in the middle. I'm just going to line that up on this strip. Make sure that I didn't trim that. Okay, that one's correct. And then put that down. Okay, now let me get it in, trim that off. So I just wanted a really clean border on that. And then really clean border here. There we go. Okay. And then this one is going across the 2-page spread. I guess I should have accounted for that, but that's okay. We'll just slice that. Just gonna clean it, slice it right on the edge of that. Like so. So then it goes across. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Okay. What else we got, guys? There's so much little stuff here. Let's see. We can fussy cut this little heart out. So looking at, again, these papers and seeing how you can best utilize it. You can fussy cut, because I'm looking at the center of these, maybe I fussy cut a flower out. It's funny. That's what I consider fussy cutting, even though a lot of times people look at this process and they call the whole process fussy cutting. And I'm like, what I call fussy cutting is like, you know, maybe going in and taking little things out of papers, but I think we all have our own little definition of that. I was looking at these little flowers thinking, I wonder if I can incorporate those somewhere on my page. Now I'm just into the little details for the last 20 minutes. That's my goal. 20 minutes and we'll see. Crazy thing is, I could have easily dismissed this paper thinking there wasn't enough left to do much with it, or, you know, maybe assign it to cards, but like I told you, I have really seen where you take a paper kit into a leftover kit, and then a leftover kit into a card kit, or you just toss it. One of the two. That's usually the evolution of the paper. I didn't know where I had plans for that thing. I just decided to cut it, and now I have no idea. Oh, I think maybe here to dress this up. Again, little pop-up. We'll do lovely. And this could be fun, something like that. Or maybe here. Okay, what else do I see? I think that's so cute, the Simplify. I might just cut that out and put it on my vision board. Okay. Okay, you guys mentioned, Linda, you mentioned this lantern. I could put it down here in that focal point. Okay, so then what I do for these ones, and you guys probably do this too, but see all those, like I'll never cut around all that like I did with the word strips. Those were just straight cuts. So what I do is I just kind of come in here and I cut like an inside piece that then I stick to the back. So I don't like cover the whole thing, but I want to stick it to the back. Then I'm going to add a little pop-up to that spot. And that's how then I can actually place it down here without fully committing to it yet and see what that sticker will look like. Again, visual. So that's cute. That could be a little extra detail there. Okay. Probably don't need much else. I do need centers. Oh, that's right. Centers of my flowers. Either I can go get Brad's or I can cut these flowers out and add them. They seem to be of the right size. Let's use this sheet. So I'm going to come in and cut this piece out. Like so. Whoops. The blue's not quite popping. Maybe the pink will pop better. All right. Well, what else? Do you guys have any thoughts? Anything else? I mean, I still think I need to add a strip. Don't you guys think? Maybe there? Maybe black. A little bit of black strip there. To kind of pull that down. I mean, if you really wanted to dressy up, you can always do like a little scallop there, but I'm not, I think I don't need that. I think the page is speaking for itself at this point. Cute. Okay. Let's do this flower. This last one here. Okay. Linda says sorry. Are you saying sorry about the sewing? I think I missed that comment earlier. Sorry. Yeah, thanks. My brain won't rest until it's like accomplished. It's mostly because I'm looking for little places more to add, just a little bit more of that white. Not that it needs it. I think actually adding that white a little bit around those pictures really helped with that. Okay. So this gives me that finished center look that I'm looking for. And then of course, where are my enamel dots? There they are. Right here in my tray. I can always come back and add, I could either add black or I can add white or greens, the light greens. Take off this jacket really fast. Let's do that. So this is now in the details step. This is like now entering in that stage where you can either, call it good or go a little bit more with some extra elemental elements. So, I love a good white pearl. I think it's always so pretty in the middle of the flower. Good old classic pearls. All right, let me try cutting a black strip. Let's see how that reacts to the rest of the page. If it reacts in a way that makes us feel. What do you guys think? How thick did I cut that? I wasn't paying attention. I think I'm trying to decide, I think I might put it behind the pictures instead of above the pictures. But let me stand up. I gotta stand up and see it from your guys' view here. Oh, see, that strip does frame in this section. So I highly recommend if you're doing this sketch to add a strip there. I think it does absolutely add to that. And then, yeah, and then journaling there, like I mentioned. I'm going to add my journaling there. And do you want to see my page, Abby?
I can come.
Yeah, I'm live, but you can see.
Oh, this is this when we went to Kirkland?
Yeah.
Oh, no, Nauvoo.
Yeah.
It's Nauvoo, not Kirkland.
Riley's face all over. I mean, your face is in there too.
Right.
Riley was more willing to take pictures. Anyways, isn't it fun?
I love it.
It's a vibe.
It is a vibe.
It's a vibe. Yeah, I like the black strips too. I think that really anchors it. So then,
it's a fun trip.
And then these I probably will have lay over this. Yeah, it was very relaxing. Like that. And then, we'll have this here. And should we sew together, or do you guys want me to finish it, take a picture, and go from there?
I like how the pictures are like on the bottom. I don't think I've seen that often.
Yeah, it's kind of a nice stretch of photos. Mm-hmm. Just nice stretch of photos across the bottom.
I love how we're all like awkwardly standing there, and then Lacey looks like she like walked off an album cover of a girl band.
She's like, I got this. I don't even. All right, guys. What do we think? Where are you guys at on time? Do you want to see me sew, or do you want me to end it? I guess let me see if I have the sewing mechanisms close by or not. I honestly don't know if I would add much more now that I'm looking at it. Oh, I will.
What would you be sewing?
Sewing. I thought about doing a little stitching.
Oh, that'd be fun. Like white?
Yeah, like white. Yeah. All right, well, we'll go for it for the next few minutes. Enamel dots. These fingers, they're too long.
I I can do it.
I'd have to find tweezers, which I barely ever use. Okay, this is what I was talking about, how this twig, it's so cute too.
What kit is it from?
What?
The twig?
Oh, it's from Tiny Plants.
Oh.
Yeah. Just to add a little bit of enamel dots on this. It just adds so much, especially with this black. It really pops. Ugh. I don't know where my tweezers are. I barely ever use them, but now my nails are
you struggling because of your nails?
Yeah, because I don't do them longer than I am used to because I wanted the bally up. Did I show you my nails?
Yes.
Oh,
We were
okay.
both obsessing over it and saying how you should do baby blue next time so Dad's like all over your hands.
My husband likes blue. He's very biased to blue. Oh.
Are you doing this one too?
Yeah, you want to do it?
Can I?
Sure. Sure.
You make it look so satisfying. I mean, other than the struggle with your nails. Wait, which size? This one?
I did the bigger one on the top and then the...
Like the big one or like the medium?
I did.
That one.
Yeah, either one. They're right next to each other. Look at that. Isn't that cute? You guys, the twig. It's worth it. It's worth the 2 minutes. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Okay, sewing. Let me see what we got here.
Maybe enamel dots is just a general struggle with and without nails.
No. It's just more familiarity, I think. You got that. I was trying to find my tweezer. I don't use them much, so I don't even know where I put them. Okay.
Ta-da! I expect I guess it's just a book thing. Can you like make dedications in scrapbook albums?
You want me to dedicate the twig?
This is dedicated to my daughter Abby for helping me put enamel dots on the twig.
Done. It's in the video now. It's done.
Yeah. Well, I think you should put dedications in front of your scrapbooking albums because it's kind of like a book,
Right.
just with photos. And
Right.
they put dedications in front of written books, so you might as well. The longer I talk, the more it makes sense. Where do you want these?
If it makes sense to Abby, then it's got to make sense to everybody.
Exactly. My sense is sound.
I have to find my sewing stuff. I gave it to all the Lacey, and now it's like all over the place. I'll get it. But so what's happening in those comments?
They're saying yes, so.
Yes, so. Okay. Yes, so. Okay, give me 1 minute. I'm gonna have to find it. Hold on.
It would be evil of me to sabotage her page while she's gone, right? I'm a good daughter. I won't sabotage her. But she like left me to my own devices. I feel like I should teach her a lesson or something. Maybe I should. Oh, she heard me. Oh no. Maybe I should try to sew these. I've never sewed it before. I've seen her do it. I've also seen Lacey do it. Did she show you Lacey's page? Lacey's page is really cute. I was very proud of her. I mean, I might as well show you because she's gone. And what are you going to look at if there's no hands on the screen? This is Lacey's layout. You see how she did that? That's so cool. I think it's yarn though, not thread.
No, it's thread.
Did you show them this already?
No.
Lacey did this.
Yeah, but I told them about it.
Yeah, crazy. But this is what kind of yarn is this called? Anyway, it's very fun.
Oh, it's which I can't find. Lacy Lou. What'd she do with it?
You should be grateful I didn't sabotage your page.
What? Why are you sabotaging my page?
Because
I don't think you have it in you.
I don't. I'm all bark, no bite.
I don't think you have it in you.
No.
Okay, guys. The sewing. I don't know.
Do you use a needle and a thread or a sewing machine?
Oh, you could do it either way, but I use it. I have this, but I'm looking for the floss that I gave to Lacey.
The floss?
The
Needle?
yeah. There's a few ways we could do it. We could either do a top stitch or we could do just along the edge, like an over top stitch. That could be cute too. Trying to debate.
So you mean like over the edge or just like a line?
Yeah. Or we could poke holes and literally thread ribbon through it.
Like how?
Which is
how
what
big?
kind of Linda was talking about.
Ah.
That could be cute too. It's a little different than typical sewing. Oh, hold on. I gotta go see if I can find. You guys just remember that you said.
Oh, hi, Linda. It's nice to help my mom. Linda says we should get a picture together.
Oh, for my dedication on my page?
Obviously.
I don't think they can hear me.
Oh, you can't hear her. Probably. Oh, Linda also says you can use the tip of your scissors if you don't have tweezers for the enamel dots.
I was picking them up.
True, and like setting them down. Do you need help, Mom?
I can't find. I don't like stuff. This is the thing when you decide to help your kid out when they're bored, and then you let them borrow your stuff.
You never see your stuff again.
Yeah, there's a few things I can name that you've done that with.
You wore my shoes yesterday too, woman. It's a two-way street.
You wore my shirt, you take my curling iron.
I stole Dad's hair dryer.
My face lotion. She just laughs. She doesn't know what to do with herself.
All I can say is you wore my shoes yesterday.
I did find this. It's not sewing thread, but when I was looking for a ribbon, how cute is that? Like, what if that's like...
Would you just glue it on or would you still sew it?
Well, we could either... I'm trying to imagine what it would look like. Because, you know, Linda mentioned poking holes, which you could add almost like fancy frills. You could sew the edges with just a needle. This is not sewing. Like, I wouldn't sew this. If anything, I would have to experiment with, like, up and, like, threading it through.
Oh, okay.
But I'm
I
trying
like the
to
texture
think
on it.
if it would go through. It's kind of cute, huh?
How would you keep it?
It's a little bit more cream
round
than white. But
I was about to say, because you have white. White is the word.
Too cream.
But you should shelf that idea.
Yeah.
For another thing.
I don't know what she did with it, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to do it. I'll do another video.
Why can't you use this needle? Is it too thin?
It's not the needle. I'm looking for the...
You can go ask Lacey.
Yeah.
Go ask Lacey where the needle is.
I can yell at her again. Lacey? Lace?
Okay, real question though, and answer me the comments so I can understand my mom better. How many scissors does a woman need?
Whoa!
How many scissors does a woman need? These scissors, the black one, the orange scissors, and I know she has a red pair of scissors, and she has a blue pair of scissors, and she has another pair of orange scissors.
I only have those for experimenting. And I have to have enough pair of scissors because you guys take them all.
Oh, now I'm starting to understand the logic. But for real, how many pairs of scissors does a woman need?
For mom needs like 20.
Mom needs like 20, Lacey says. Oh. There we go. Oh, Mom.
What?
Natalie brings up a good point.
Okay.
Instead of sewing, you could use a white gel pen.
I could. And that would be more satisfying. I wanted the texture.
Roslyn, you have 10 pairs of scissors? That's okay. Okay. That's a lot of scissors.
I don't know if I ever told you guys this story or not. I met a lady. I was at a community event here in my where I live, and found out that she's a seamstress, so she sews is her preferred hobby, and she has a scissor collection. Like legit, she bought.
Oh, I remember this.
She bought a pair of scissors that were like $500. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But I really want to go over and see this scissors collection.
Because she lives in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right?
And I might have to just ask her if I can come over and also share it with all of you guys, because how great would that be?
Man.
Or maybe I'm the only one that would be
Well, you aren't
geeking out about that.
Yeah, because I was
cool.
about to say you aren't very much a collector. Like I can't think of anything in your life that you collect. I mean, other than like scrapbooking stuff. But even then, you're not like a big hoarder or collector.
Right.
But
But
it was so funny when she came home.
I'm a practical person in that sense. Yeah.
She came home from that event. I remember because it was their anniversary. So
oh yeah.
They came home and we were talking, and she was like, her eyes lit up. I remember watching her eyes light up, and I was like, my mom, who is not a hoarder, is so intrigued by this concept of collecting scissors.
I think I could find myself doing it. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh
I don't know about
gosh.
spending $500 on a pair of scissors. That's a little too much for me, but it makes me want to keep an eye out. And it's a little, it is a little odd just for me, because I think I wouldn't use the scissors, right? Because I'm very picky on what scissors I actually cut with, because they better be nice scissors or.
Right. Have you guys ever noticed the necklace she wears?
Yeah, I've seen them. They showed them my necklace.
Okay, yeah.
So
It's scissors.
because
I'm starting to now realize your obsession with scissors.
well, I've showed it with you guys.
What's the noise?
Yeah, it cuts through the noise. It's more symbolism. Scissors literally transform things in front of your eye.
It's true.
That's the nature of them.
Is that the needle?
This is a needle.
Is it the one that Lacey had?
Yep.
This is why you ask your daughters where your things are.
Right. Okay, where's the whole poker thing again?
Do you want your chair back?
Yes, please. Let's finish this up. My plan was to have it finished so we could, right now, so that we could actually clean.
Actually clean. I got the kids to clean their rooms. Kind of.
I did.
Yeah.
I know we're doing laundry.
And where's the pads thing that I gave you to make holes in? Where's that at?
The bra pad?
No, I can use this one. It's fine. Okay.
This feels like surgery. Now I'm feeling anxious for you.
I just have to figure out what kind of what holes I'm gonna do.
Did you intentionally cut it to be like? Did you use an 8-inch template or did you cut it to be smaller?
Oh, I used whatever paper I had.
Oh,
But it
and
was
was
being-
it like a small pad?
Yeah, but it was being tucked, so.
Cute.
Yeah. I'm trying to decide if I want to do over the edge one or across the top. I need to find my poker. So I'm just poking holes following that edge. That's it. Nothing rocket science. If you have a cushion pad, I just don't know where my cushion pad is. Or if you have like a makeup thing, or it took me long enough to find this. My goodness, guys. I thought we had that there too. I'm pretty sure she left. She left. She has my cushion. Oh, this would make it a lot easier though. I need a
cushion.
Oh, you know what? Hand me that cardboard. Hand me the cardboard.
It has your address on it.
Oh,
Or did you can?
yeah, sure. There. Now I have something to speed this up and poke into. See? You adapt.
Adapt.
Another purpose for your Kiwi Club boxes.
You should start promoting it that way. Maybe you should print a sticker that says also great. It has what's it called? A hole cushion?
A hole cushion. Just a pad. Cushion pad. You just need something soft to go in so that you can go fast. Up and down. Too funny. All right. Okay. So just take some,
Maybe you were a surgeon in your past life.
or not. I don't think I would do well with blood. Not at all. Okay, I'm going to do a couple stitches just to see what we think. So a typical up and down stitch, right? You would start it, and then we could just go up and down like so, and then you go into your next. If you wanted to do it thick, you would go up and then back to the next spot there, like that. I don't think that's what I want. I like not the solid look in this because I want more of an airy feel, right? Okay,
So you're gonna do the crossover?
So then the other one, it's more of the edge. I'm kind of trying to imagine what that would look like. So let's take it up. So instead of like a typical stitch, which is like what you can do with a pin, we can go over the edge, especially on the border. It allows that to easily happen.
That's cute.
It's kind of fun, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that one. That's cute. Feels more light and airy.
And it adds a little texture, but not quite the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then let me go ahead and take some washi tape.
Why?
We're gonna just washi tape that piece down right there.
It's as if you've done this before.
I have sewn before, yes. And I just top mat. I see all of it. So you can see it kind of takes, just a little bit of, yeah, I think that's going to add just a little bit there. But I did imagine, Linda, and maybe this is what you were imagining. I did imagine when you said holes, like I don't have like a ribbon, but a little cute 1/4 inch like width ribbon or something. I might have to try it on another layout. I thought, how cute would it be? It's almost like, it makes me think of like a dress my mom made me once where the ribbon like went through, and then you can tie a bow at the end. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense?
I can see it. Yeah.
Like how you take a ribbon, like a
right, like
basic,
a weave,
yeah,
like a weave basket.
Yeah, like a weave basket kind of thing. How pretty that would be too. I imagined that on this page too. I thought that would maybe add to that vibe. So that's cute too.
You could also do that with paper strips, like a weave pattern.
It would be harder with paper strips to make it go in the shape of a board, like to follow the grooves.
I mean, in general, like it's a weave basket pattern.
Oh, yeah, I've done that. Yeah, where you just, it's cute on a basket, actual basket, when you do that too. So that's cute too.
Mm.
Okay, I kind of want to see what this border looks like layered behind the other one. So I'm like really anxious now to like get this done.
Sun's out.
Yep, I need to.
Have you had lunch?
Nope, we need to wrap this up. Eat lunch. Clean the house.
And how does pesto pasta sound?
Sure. I mean, if you're making it.
I'll go start boiling water.
All right. Sweet. Okay, almost there. Almost there. It's kind of pulling apart. I don't want it to do that. This could also be cute. So again, hands down, I think this looks really cute around a border specifically. I think that's really fun. And on the small 8 inches, I mean, in the nature of the mini Riley drive border here, it's not like you're doing a whole 12-inch. It wouldn't take much longer to do a 12-inch, but there's a little pro to that, doing this for an 8-inch versus like a 12-inch. You can just do one layer. You could do both of the layers as the borders if you wanted to. But you could just, I mean, I'm only going to do it on that bottom layer. I think it actually would take away from the detail if you added it too many places, personally. That's my personal opinion on that. But I mean, it is fun. But I like stitching in small little amounts. If you're in the mood for it, it can be quite relaxing. And it is really nice because if you had decided like you want stitching in certain things, you poke the holes, you can go watch a movie, right? Something like that. So it does really work great though with a lot of those designs. And the ones that she was showing you, oh, I guess she did show you that. I'll have to do a video on that, but let's just see what that looks like really quickly. Let me move the template out of the way. Remove this out of the way. Oh, it's cute. It's again another little cute touch of the white that I was hoping to throw in there. And then, of course, doodling is always fun too. Like that. Adds a little texture there. These ones, which again, we've already, I'll do another, we'll do another event coming up. Right? She actually took the shapes. So this is like using it on the border, but then look how cute. I mean, that, I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I want to do a little acorn. That was very fun for her to do. I don't know if I would have done it, but Lacey had fun doing it. And it's really cute. It makes a statement for sure. So fun. Okay, well, guys, I'm going to finish this one up. I don't think I'll keep you for that, but the general idea is there. I'll wrap that one up and take a picture, and of course I'll share it. And I'll can't wait to see what you guys create with the mini Riley Drive border here. So much fun. Make sure to share it in the community, of course, and don't forget, if you do share it in the community, use the month's hashtag, which is February 2024. We'll do a search and we do a drawing every month. Every month we do a drawing, so make sure to share it so that we can celebrate that finished page with you, but also be inspired by your creations, because each of us have different styles and different little ways of approaching it, and there's always something that I'm always inspired by your guys' designs. So please share them. I love seeing them. All right, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Oh, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And we, of course, will see you guys in the community. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it. Bye now.
Bye.